Hello guys, welcome back to this channel, and today let's have a little bit of a chat about changing directions as a content creator. And over the last few weeks, I experienced the most energy that I've had throughout my entire journey of being a creator and an entrepreneur. I was so excited to write for YouTube, to write for my podcast, and I just spent more time on my work, and I constantly think about how I can improve, and I even set strict boundary over my time and what I do. And this is really huge for me because previously I was experiencing a lot of anxiety and stress and self-doubt, and I was constantly experiencing plateau and lack of motivation, and this is a bad sign for an early creator. And on some level, at least most days, you do need to feel excited and be ready for actions, but that just wasn't the case for me. And it was after that I've changed the direction of my content, of what I want to create, that I finally feel like I am on the right track. I no longer feel confused of what I needed to get done. I don't feel a lot of self-doubt if what I do is the right thing, or I don't feel any of the anxiety and the comparison that other coaches are doing, because I feel so calm that, yeah, I am doing what I need to do, like I am giving what I can give, so there's really no point comparing. And this is just the perfect moment for me to get into today's video, and I want to talk about why it is okay to change your direction as a content creator and what was my thought process of changing the direction. And I know that this is a very touchy subject because for a lot of entrepreneurs, when they give up their past life and decided to go on this new, uncertain, creative life, there are many things that could get to people. There is this notion of you can't give up, like you can't really change so many things because otherwise then you can't stick to that one thing, right? And I want to share my story with you and give you the encouragement that it is okay to change your mind about what you wanted to do, because it is about long-term commitment. It is about sustainable, consistent effort. So it is okay to change into something that you feel more connected to. And instead of seeing this as a sign that you are giving up, see this as an opportunity to experiment with new things so that you can get to know more about what you are and what you really wanted to do. So first of all, let's talk about my story. 6 months ago, I told my friends and my family that I wanted to become a creator. I wanted to become an entrepreneur and start my own business because I didn't want to rely on anyone for a paycheck. I didn't know what it was that I wanted to do, but I knew that I was gonna find out because I will experiment with things, I will try, and I will reflect. And the tools that I have to start my journey is the faith that I could do more and I have the potential to learn the skills to achieve my full potential. So having said that, I quit my 9-to-5 job and just started to create on Instagram. And so I decided to become a relationship coach. I wasn't sure if it was something that I absolutely wanted to do, but at least I knew that I loved talking about love life and relationships and dating with my girlfriends, and it was always something that I think about a lot. So I started with this assumption that, okay, let me try to be a relationship coach and share with people what I know about dating and finding love. The things that I could tell people that I have achieved for myself is I've overcome low self-esteem and low confidence, and then also I know how to overcome heartbreaks. That was my starting point, and I thought, well, I actually know how to overcome these things, so I could teach people how to do that. And between January to March, I mainly worked on that area. I was talking to many prospects. I also created a coaching program. I script the entire coaching program with listening materials, with worksheets and tools. I even recorded all the lessons. And after that, I made the efforts to market my service, and I talked to a few prospects to get them on board. And what I've learned is that I liked talking about relationship, but I didn't feel that, oh, this is how I help to change the world. I didn't feel like this is something that I wanted to do for another 3 years or another year if I were to become a content creator. And the second thing that I've noticed is I got really judgmental when I listened to people's dating problems, because when I was doing market research, I would talk to many people, I would ask about the problems, and I was trying to listen and see if I could help. And I never realized that I have strong opinions around dating, especially in terms of sex and how women should approach dating on a fundamental level. And when you are helping someone on such an important issue like finding love and relationships, you do want to feel a lot of empathy and love and caring energy. You don't want to go like, when you are listening on the surface, I hear you, yeah. But inside, you're like, oh God, why did you sleep with someone like that? You don't want to be like that, right? And telling people what to do and what not to do isn't something a coach needs to do, especially if you are trying to help other people to achieve their goal. And the second thing is that I started to experience some issues with consistency. I just had a lot of anxiety around using Instagram. And whenever I was trying to write for Instagram captions, I felt a lot of limiting energy. Like, it felt really clunky and hard, and the way that I really wanted to connect with people is through my voice and my face and my personality. I think that is how I wanted to make an impact. And the way that I knew that I wasn't interested in it was every time I posted something, I felt small and shrinking, and that I just finished another piece of chore. And that's how I really felt about creating on Instagram. So obviously after that, I journaled and I reflected on how I could have done things differently so that I could create with a lot more passion and energy. And what came up to me was, why didn't you try some YouTube and podcast? That seems like an exciting option. Why haven't you tried that? And you would ask me, why didn't you choose YouTube or podcast before? And the only reason was because I didn't have enough confidence to make that choice before I decided that I wanted to show up on Instagram. And when I was using Instagram, I actually did a lot of self-coaching. I worked a lot on my mindset. So once I decided that I was finished with using Instagram as the main platform to show up, I already overcame a lot of the mindset blocks that I have. So that was the point where I truly felt ready to play a bigger game and use YouTube and podcast. And once I made that decision, it just felt really natural for me to create whatever that I wanted to create on YouTube and on my podcast. Feel free to check out my podcast in the link down below. And I know that you might not have the exact same type of problem that I have. Maybe you are thinking if you should change from this little niche to that little niche, or if you're thinking if you should change from being a productivity coach to a stress management coach, or if you are just thinking of if you wanted to switch platform. And the 3 lessons I'm going to share with you next are something that can help you with the decision making. So the first lesson is that enjoying thinking and talking about something doesn't mean that you have to make it a profession. And this is a principle to reflect on what you have already done, not on an idea that you haven't executed on yet. For example, if you have been creating some content around some certain topic and you've been feeling some resistance around it, you feel limited by just talking about that, and you do find yourself wandering off to other topics from time to time, then I would suggest you to think about this principle. Enjoy cooking doesn't mean that you have to be a chef. Enjoy hiking and working out and going to the gym doesn't mean that you have to be an athlete. So with the same principle, I think if you enjoy talking about and thinking about that subject, it doesn't mean that it has to be the only thing. And you might find a better path by just creating content around the things that you want to talk about and experiment and see if a real path emerged organically, if that makes sense. Which leads to the second point: path is found, not created. And this applies to something that you are very new to. So maybe before you are a teacher and now you are a content creator, or before you are a consultant or accountant, or you work in finance and now you wanted to become a YouTuber talking about the things that you enjoyed thinking about when you were at your full-time job. When you completely change the nature of your workflow, I think it does take some time to experiment with the things that you actually wanted to do. And I think content creation is such a huge topic that you can't just nail it down at first and decided that it was something that you are going to stick to. And there are people that are absolutely sure their thing is their thing and they want to talk about that. But if you are not and you have many interests, then this is something that I would suggest. Just talk about things you enjoy talking about and then see if it leads you to somewhere else. And the final point I wanted to touch on is that channel your energy into creating something that sparks joy. this is about being consistent and creating a long-term career that you absolutely love. And being a content creator is such a big decision that you know that you're going to spend a lot of time thinking about what to say and how to say it and how to present it. Why don't you choose something that you want to talk about instead of thinking that you have to talk about something because that's going to make people trust you more, because that's going to make them want to work with you? And I was in the same trap when I was creating on Instagram as a relationship coach, and I thought that I had to talk about things people wanted to know even though I had absolute no interest whatsoever. I thought I have to talk about things people have problems with, even though I really don't believe my solutions can be other people's solutions, and I'm still experimenting. And I think that was the root cause of me feeling so clunky around creating on Instagram. So friends, if you are doubting if what you are currently creating and the platform that you're using doesn't feel right, then experiment with other platforms, try something that you're more interested in talking about and see how it goes. You know there's someone out there, me, that's changed this direction and things are working wonders. Okay, I hope my experience is helpful and it gives you some encouragement and inspiration how you make your decisions. Comment down below and let me know if this is helpful and if this resonates with you, and feel free to connect with me on my blog, my podcast, and on my Instagram. Alright, thanks for watching and I will see you soon. Bye bye!